In today's economy, we are all asking the very same question: how can I stretch my dollar and save even more money? Well, today I'm going to share some old-fashioned frugal living tips to answer that question and share some tips that are still applicable today to help us save even more money in the kitchen and in general, because I know as a frugal homemaker, I want to make my money stretch, and cost of living is just so extreme. So hopefully this video can provide a little bit of help and insight. If you are new here, hello, my name is Ashley. I am a stay-at-home mom of 3 in Ontario, Canada. I've been married to my husband, Joey, for 10 years, and we have lived below the poverty line. We have lived on a low income, and now we are living on a single income, although we are no longer considered below the poverty line. I still feel like I have learned so much from those times of living on very little, and I'm hoping that I can pass over some of that information that I've learned and pass that to you guys so that you can stretch your dollar even more, because I know how costly the price of living has become. So let's get into the video. So before we get into those old-fashioned frugal living tips, for starters, I am feeding my starter. I guess sourdough all on its own could be its very own tip for, old-fashioned frugal living. You can make so many things with a sourdough discard or a sourdough starter, and they all turn out so delicious. Of course, there is a period of trial and error. So I just want to share this little tip with you guys. If you are just learning to work with sourdough, my best tip of advice would be to measure everything in grams. It has truly helped me to find more consistent results. Of course, you don't need to do that. It is just a little tip that I've had that's really been working for me. I'm so thankful a friend gave me this sourdough starter because it was such a good one, and I'm having such good results. I've had quite a few over the years, and this one I am taking care of very mindfully. So my very first tip for living more frugally is learning to cook from scratch. A lot of prepackaged foods are made for convenience, and they definitely jack the prices on those, and they're also not the healthiest. They have a lot of added, usually sugars and fats and chemicals and things you don't really want to eat. So not only will cooking from scratch save you money in the kitchen and in your home, your grocery budget, you are also going to be knowing what's in your food and eating a lot healthier. And so that is my very first tip. And I can tell you for a fact, as a family who used to buy primarily convenience foods, switching now to cooking more from scratch is definitely saving me a lot more money. Having a lot of different ingredients on hand, such as rice, chicken broth, chicken, eggs, my sourdough starter, flours, chocolate chips, certain ingredients like that definitely help me to just prepare a meal easily and cook certain foods from scratch. So that is my very first tip. So my next tip kind of goes along with that. It is embracing whole foods, but also becoming an ingredient household. I no longer meal plan at all. I simply go to the grocery store. I buy meat on sale. I've actually been buying meat in bulk, and that has been very helpful, having meat in my freezer. It does cost a little more upfront, but it's definitely worth it for me. Meal planning has always been a source of frustration for me. I have executive dysfunction, and I find it very hard to actually plan meals, but becoming an ingredient only household has actually helped me to save time in the kitchen and also save me money, as weird as that sounds, because I simply buy ingredients on sale and I just prepare meals. I know it's a little hard for some people, they're not as creative in the kitchen, but if you can learn to become an ingredient only household, I feel like it will definitely help you to save more money on groceries. So another tip I have for being more frugal in the kitchen is buying food in bulk as much as you can. I've not saved a significant amount of money for buying meat in bulk, but I've not really looked into my local resources as well as I could. And so I'm definitely going to do that. I'm kind of on my own frugality journey as I'm sharing what I'm learning, but I know that dry foods especially, you will save a lot of money buying them in bulk. So my next tip for being more frugal is learning to cut hair at home. I've been cutting my hair ever since the pandemic. I learned how to cut my hair from YouTube and I've had a lot of success with it. It's actually saved me a lot of money. I used to spend about $30 every 2 months as a hairdresser, and that was just for myself. And so now I cut my hair at home as well as my girls, and that has saved me a lot of money annually. So if you are up for it, definitely learn how to cut hair at home. It's actually not as intimidating as it looks, and if you take it slow, it's kind of hard to mess up and it does grow back. So anyways, that is if you are comfortable doing that, but that is a way I found that I could save money at home. So my next tip for living more frugally would be to shop for clothing secondhand, or another idea is to shop clearance and out of season. So at the end of the season, everything goes on discount. And so winter jackets, for example, are a really good item to buy out of season, because especially at the end of winter, they're just trying to get their products sold and they will sell them for very small or low prices. So definitely check out your clearance racks, buy out of season, check your thrift stores and Facebook Marketplace. One thing I do to actually earn a little bit of money is I actually resell clothes as well. So that is a way you can earn money from home, and at the same time you are earning the money back that you spent on the clothes. And for me, I end up just using that for new clothes. So it kind of works out and saves me a lot of money. Another way to save money on clothes is to learn to repair things. So just small stitching or small repairs like that, it can really be beneficial. Learning to replace a zipper, which I don't know how to do, but I feel like I should. But yeah, those are some ways that I save money on clothing. So another tip I have for living more frugally is to line dry your clothes when you can. Obviously, if you live like I do, I live in Ontario, Canada, I cannot do that in the winter, but during the summer, you can buy an inexpensive dry rack for around $20 on Amazon and dry your clothes, because you will save a lot of money not running your electric dryer. Tip, learn basic home maintenance, learn how to fix things. I have learned how to fix my oven when it broke several years ago. I've learned how to fix taps, drains, different things, small things, but you can learn a lot on YouTube. Of course, you can't fix everything by yourself. You may need to hire a professional at times, but definitely try DIY where you can and you will save a lot of money. So this is a tip I learned and I thought it was kind of cool. I've never really thought of this, but it was barter with friends and neighbors. So if you have chickens, maybe try to trade some of your chicken eggs for bread. Why not? If you live in a community where that is possible. Like I said, I never thought of this, but it's actually genius. And another area maybe that could work for this is childcare. There are a lot of people who need childcare, especially in today's day and age. There are not many spots in daycare centers. It is a big problem. And so you could switch out childcare. Maybe you watch their kids one day and they can watch yours. Of course, you want to trust the people that you are, organizing this with. But if you do have a friend that you trust, this might be a way to save on childcare. Even for just date nights, you watch your friends' kids, and then when you have something to do, they can return the favor, and that way you're saving money on daycare or babysitter. So let me know, what are your old-fashioned frugal living tips that are still applicable today? Let us know in the comments so we can save money together. But that is going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, I post weekly. I post frugal living, intentional living, faith, homemaking, that sort of thing. So I hope you will hit that subscribe button so we can hang out in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless.